Hi, and welcome. You're listening to the X22 Report. My name is Dave, and this is episode 1693 AN. Today's date is October 18th, 2018, and the title of the episode is Future Proves Past. Listen to the past. Now, before we get started, I wanted to talk about the patriots that are fighting for our country. Every generation seems to have its own president. For some, it was Kennedy. For others, Nixon, Carter, Bush, or Reagan. Each seems to define an era. Our generation will have Donald Trump as their president. He was the one that took a shattered and broken Washington swamp and drained it of everything he saw that was bad. He will be remembered as a maverick, the man who drained the swamp. He overcame fierce opposition from Democrats and Republicans alike, a corrupt media, misinformation, and fake news, to become the 45th president of the United States. Under his administration, America has seen its first major tax reform in 30 years, a renegotiation of the globalist trade deals, the termination of TPP, the process of getting rid of the central banking system, and maybe even resetting the system to make it a people's system. His way has so far shaken the cobwebs from all corners of government, and he's only halfway through. Who knows what the next half will bring? To celebrate these first achievements in a fitting and lasting way, Noble Gold has produced an exclusive commemorative President Trump 2020 Freedom Coin. Minted from 1 troy ounce of .999 fine silver, the Trump Freedom Coin is a beautiful and striking coin. The guys at Noble Gold tell me that these are being talked about all over the country. If you're a Trump supporter or you like the perfect gift for someone who is, you'll be in good company. To order yours, go to TrumpCoin2020.com and put in the code X22 and you'll receive $5 off per coin for a limited time. TrumpCoin2020.com and put in the discount code X22 and you could be holding one of these fabulous Trump coins too. Let's get into the economic collapse financial news. Now we know the plan is to bring down the entire global system. And that is the corrupt deep state, that is the central bank. And we need to understand that these individuals, they know that this is going to happen. They know what is going on. They realize, they understand, and they're prepared to fight this at all costs. And we have two sides battling it out right now. And we've said this for quite a while. Right now, what Trump is doing and the patriots, they are building up the economy to make it look like it's better than ever. I mean, if we look at the latest Gallup polls, America right now believes that the economic conditions are pretty darn good. They feel that everything is a lot better, people are doing better, and Trump has taken us out of this slump and has brought the economy back. Now, once again, we know that this is an illusion. Trump is using the tools the central bankers, the deep state put into place, and he's using it to the nth degree. This is all part of the plan. He needs the American people to believe and understand that the economy is doing well. He needs them to feel it. Why? Well, because when it comes down, he needs everyone to say, well, the economy was doing really, really well. Why did it crash? Who's responsible? And we never want this to happen again. That's why he's doing this. I mean, a lot of people don't understand. They think like, oh, he's out there and he's doing the same thing Obama did and we're going down the same exact path. Well, if that is the case, we're in really big trouble. Because with the deep state, with the central bank, we're pretty much back to where we were. We'll be going off to war. Everything is the way it was before. Nothing's changed. But we don't see that. We see Trump out there, and as he's getting more power, more comfortable, getting rid of the leaks, getting rid of those people that oppose him, you can tell he's coming out with statements saying, you know something? We're getting rid of the globalist power. We're getting rid of the globalist trade deal. The biggest threat is the Fed. I'm going to come out and contradict the Fed. And he continually does this. And he continually comes out and says more and more and more. Now, again, the central bank, they don't want to be removed. They want control. They've always wanted the control. And if any president or anyone comes up against the central bank, they normally do something. And that is to get rid of those people that are trying to take them down. He knows this. He knows fully well what he is doing with others behind him. They know how risky it is. But this plan has been in place for a very long time to bring down the central bank system. And it's not an easy job. You just can't flip a switch and say, you're done with. The central bank just doesn't go away. They've been around for a very long time, and they always seem to slither their way back into power somehow, some way, when they see that people forget or the timing is just right and people don't notice this and they're able to pay off certain people. But if we go back in time, we can see, if we go back to 2015, when Trump was a candidate, he said something very interesting. He said, it's a false economy that we're living in. We're in a bubble. Now, the person who said this was Trump, and he was talking about the Federal Reserve policy. And back then, he was a candidate. So listen to what he said back in 2015.
You said the system's out of whack, and do you think the economy is tilted the way a lot of Americans do, that it's unfair?
It's not a question of unfair. It's a false economy that we're living in. We're in a bubble, and more importantly, when you look at unemployment in this country, we have close to 100 million people that are out of work, and yet we have a 5.3% unemployment rate, which is a total joke. I think the real number is probably into the 30s. Somebody actually read the other day, they said it's actually 42%. And that's the real number. You know, when you go out there, you see tremendously unhappy people. And then you read, the jobs numbers. Well, it's a phony number, because when you stop looking for a job, you're no longer in that statistic. So if you're looking for a job and you stop, you're no longer in the statistic, John. And then they say it's a 5.2, 5.3%. It's not 5.3%. It's in the 20s, 30s. It could even be in the 40s. And there are a lot of unhappy people out there. And it's just, this was made up by the politicians, for the politicians, the accounting method, so that they could look good. But let me tell you something. The Obama administration, we have tremendous unemployment in this country. And the fact is, we don't make things anymore. You look at what's going on with China. You look at what's going on with Japan, with the cars. You look at what's going on with Mexico, where they're taking our jobs, not only killing us at the border. I love Mexico. I have great relationships in Mexico. But their leaders are much smarter than our leaders, and they're taking our jobs. They're killing us at the border. Everybody takes advantage of the United States because we have people that truly don't know what they're doing leading us.
Now, back then, when Trump was saying all of this, and he was saying that, it's a false economy, unemployment, we were saying the same exact thing, that these are manipulated numbers. When he got into office and he started to use the same accounting methods as, unemployment, GDP, the stock market, a lot of people thought, wait a minute. Trump before was saying that this is fake, and now he's saying this is real. See, they're misinterpreting what he's actually doing. And people misinterpret a lot of what he does. Just like with North Korea, people saying that, he's trigger happy, we're going to be going to war, and we don't see peace in the cards whatsoever. And actually the opposite happened. This is how he works. This is what he does. He convinces everyone that he's doing something else, while in the background, it allows him to do what he really wants to do and what the patriots need to do, and that is to get rid of the central bank. And the only way to do this, and remember, the people need to understand and realize that it was the central bank that did this, that it was those individuals that held government that were in line with the central bank, they're the ones who did this. So right now, the future, because that was the past, well, the future is proving the past, because this is exactly what he's doing. And he took Andrew Jackson and he put it on the wall on purpose. That was an indicator, a signal to everyone. This is what I am going to do. And you can see right now, he needs to use everything the central bank, the deep state, what they've been doing in the past. He needs to continue this moving forward, and he needs to manipulate it even further. He needs to run the debt up like there's no tomorrow. In the meantime, while everyone is looking at that, he needs to make deals, bring manufacturing back here, change all the trade deals, start mentioning globalists, start mentioning what these individuals have done, start contradicting the Fed, saying that the Fed is the biggest threat. This is all part of the plan. Now remember, it's not just one plan. It's the umbrella of this gigantic plan, because it's not just a plan for the central bank, a plan for the deep state, a plan for this, a plan for that. This is the entire plan for a brand new system, which includes the economy, the how we create currency, who is running the country, getting rid of corrupt politicians. This is the ultimate plan. It's a reset of every single thing that we're seeing right now. And why does he have to run up the debt? Why does he have to manipulate these numbers? Because when the system comes down, it has to be a big enough shock where people don't look at Trump, but they look at the central bank. They look at who is really responsible for this. Now, people are saying, well, didn't he crash the system? No, the central bank did by raising the rates. Actually, whose system is this? This is a central banking system. We can't fix a central banking system. It's unfixable. Actually, it doesn't even work because there's always a time frame where it completely breaks down and it implodes on itself. It's designed that way. And if you go back in time, you can see it every single time. We weren't even supposed to go past 2008. This is why they had to create currency like crazy. This is why they had to bail out banks. This is why they had to do all these things behind the scenes to keep the system operational long enough so they could have some type of major event where it would cover everything up. And you can see at this point, during 2008 moving forward, those individuals decided at that time we were going to become very, very wealthy. The 1% was going to get everything before this system died and we had to restart it. And I don't mean paper money. I'm talking about real assets. So when we look at what he said in the past, he is still following the same exact plan. Nothing's changed. Back then, he let us know that this was a fake economy. It's completely fake. And today, he's using the fake economy to push the plan forward, to reset the system. And when we look back in time, when everything is all said and done, we will be able to see this. We'll be able to see exactly what has happened here. And people will say, wow, and history will look at this and say, yes, look at this. This was a central bank economy. We never want a central bank again. The economy was blown up on purpose to get rid of the central bank. The people turned on the central bank. And the whole system was restarted with the people controlling who creates the currency, who controls the economy. Now, as time goes on, people will start to forget. I mean, it won't be in 5 years, 10 years. Most likely it'll be 50, 60, 70 years. They'll start to forget who's responsible. We'll have corruption once again in government. And we'll have the thing start all over again. I mean, this is human nature. You can't do anything about it unless people tell the story every single day. But we know what happens. Other individuals who are corrupt come into the fold, and they start taking over some of the media companies, start moving into government, getting positions, and people stop talking about it, and time goes on. They corrupt other people, and someone says, maybe we should have some type of central bank to, control the economy and things like that. And this is how it starts. Or powerful people will bring down the economy and say, listen, you can't manage the economy. Maybe you should have a central bank manage it. But this won't happen in the beginning phases. It will happen later down the line. And the Founding Fathers have told us this. They told us that the system they're giving us will only last for a certain period of time. And then you're going to have to fight for it again. And you're going to have to remove those individuals. I mean, think about it. Go back in history. I mean, we just didn't have the Federal Reserve. There was, Central Bank 1, Central Bank 2, and then we had the Federal Reserve. And each time they were shut down, many years went by, people forgot, and they popped up again. The same thing's going to happen again. But hopefully this is big enough. This is so huge that people don't forget for a very long time. But we need to remember one thing. To get there, we're going to have to go through a transition. The system's going to have to change, and we will change into a new system. And it's going to be very bumpy, and it's going to be hard for certain people. And you're going to have to prepare. You need water, supplies, medical supplies, toiletries, because, when everything freezes up, you will not be able to get these type of supplies at the supermarket. You also need to have cash, gold and silver, cryptos on hand. You'll need all of this. Because, again, you have to be prepared for anything and everything. Listen, everyone, thanks a lot for listening. Be well, be safe, and especially be prepared. Thanks a lot.